Delta Foxtrot Delta 21 Delta Foxtrot Delta 21.
In a world where truth lies between shadows and light, where anchors hold you down and eagles dare to rise above, we dive into the untold stories that shape us all. Sit tight, listen close. This is Anchors and Eagles with your hosts, Adam Facenda and Jeronimo Gomez. The views and discussions in this podcast are for entertainment purposes only.
Guys, thank you so much. First off, for listening in. You're hearing my voice. I'm Adam Facenda, your host of Anchors and Eagles. And the reason why you're hearing my voice first before the actual interview of Edwin Marquez is this is part 2. This is the one thing I don't know if, I'll ask each one of you a just simple answer, yes, no. Are you worried, have you ever worried about martial law?
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
So this whole close down of the government, right? I was thinking about this just the other day, and because of the whole Snap situation. I don't know if you guys following the stuff that's going on TikTok and X and stuff. It's almost like we have tested the National Guard to see how we're going to react to it, and we agree there's some craziness going on. So how do we make the common person or middle to lower class people go completely crazy and start acting a fool so that we can activate martial law across the whole United States?
Problem, reaction, solution, man. They present the problem.
And it hit me yesterday when I was listening to this lady talk about robbing people at the grocery store. And I'm like, And then I heard this other guy say, that's really smart of you because then we'll just know who to arrest because there's cameras everywhere. Yep, that could be done too, for sure. And then I thought a little bit more and I'm like, man, this is just the setup of martial law. That's all that's going to happen. We're going to have curfews again. And here we are, another COVID experience all over again with military. Like, bro, and then the next step is well, the military doesn't feel safe guarding you people. So we need to come into your homes and take all your guns. You're going to come and take my guns, it's like, how far can we keep pushing it? And everyone's, I don't know if you guys watch the politics about this shutdown right now. I think we talked about it a little bit the other day. But it's like it benefits both sides. It's not, and when I say sides, it's not the people, it's them versus us.
Man.
You know what I mean? It's that's the way it's always been, But now it's just we know we can get away with a lot more. We know that we can get the turn on them. Well, all it takes is one bad actor. And then we're going to point the finger at them, and then that's the reason why we got to do all this. Go ahead, Jeronimo. What were you going to say?
The scary thing is that people who voted for this administration are cheering all this on.
That's I don't think you should say that. I don't think you should say that.
I gotta disagree with that.
Yeah, there's an extremist group of people that are cheering it on, and there's other people that were voting conservative over top of another candidate. And this has happened. I think Edwin and I talked about this previously. Yeah. It's the lesser of two evils every time you go to vote.
That's the problem. That's why I don't vote, man. Because I'm not going to put dude, they're both bad. Why do we have to vote for the people that they put in front of us? They put them in front of us. Why is that our only choice?
I have a gay couple, and the husband's Brazilian. That I tattoo. I don't have them. I mean, they're my clients, right? And they were telling me that in Brazil, whenever they get done, and if the people don't like who the two candidates are, they get to re-vote for a whole other group of candidates, and that president just stays in there, whatever they have over there, stays in power until they find two candidates they like. How amazing! And how are we Brazil in doing that and not America?
But see, that's a dangerous slope right there because you can actually just declare martial law like they've done in Brazil. I mean, I follow a little bit politics in South America, and they did it, and they did that in Brazil. I think it was with the one candidate declared martial law because of riots or whatever, and he managed to stay in power longer and managed to lock up his political opponents.
This is happening in Ukraine too.
Well,
you know what I mean? We're in the middle of a war. Let's keep this war going so I don't lose power.
Exactly. And I think that if you want a sneak peek of where this country's going, you don't have to look further more than to England. Look what's happening in England. England has been these ridiculous open border policies that they have over there, the censorship. I mean, they're arresting. I think the last time I saw, they have arrested over 1,200 people over Facebook posts that are benign. They're not talking about go kill this person or go kill that person. It's just questioning the narrative and questioning the authority. And then cops show up and then they'll arrest you. They're arresting people that are speaking out against the establishment, that are speaking against mass immigration, about the multiculturalism thing. They're straight up locking them up. And that can easily happen over here. We almost had it here. I mean, remember, there was a Department of Disinformation that was going to be formed in the last administration, where they were going to start checking all of your shit, and if you got out of line, you were going to be booted out of polite society. I mean, remember that not till very recently that Mark Zuckerberg grew a pair. Actually, he came out and finally said, yeah, the fucking feds were coming in from a behind door and they were telling us what we can and cannot block.
I think I was just going to correct you on that too, because you said they were trying. They did.
Oh, they did.
They did. There was no trying. They did it. It was successful. Right. I don't know if you saw today about the oversight committee about the auto pen.
Oh yeah.
That alone blows my mind. You know about that, Jeronimo?
No, what is that?
So allegedly, Biden didn't sign all this, the things that were put into law while he was in office, especially the pardons that were given, that it was all auto-penned, and there was somebody that was in control of the auto-pen the whole time. The only ones that he did sign were for his son, and I think somebody else. I don't know if it was
for Fauci. I think the other one was for Fauci.
For Fauci, right? So now the Oversight Committee is now saying that all that is void. And that's going to be a real mess. That's another political mess that's going to keep your mind off of what's really going on. Like this mothership that's heading our way.
Yeah.
If George Clinton is not on that mothership, I don't care.
I mean,
hey, he got it.
I got it.
Yeah. Let's go.
If we went to your record player right now, what's in it?
Jeronimo, you could go first.
He hates records.
Deftones or something, probably.
Ooh, well done.
Probably, yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah. White Pony, fantastic record.
Heck yeah.
The first one, dude.
Yeah.
Cold. Flawless.
Yeah.
That band
Jolie?
doesn't get the credit that they deserve.
Yeah. No, they totally not. Well, they get lumped in with a bunch of crap music, man. That's the problem.
Yeah. I got to see them twice, and live they were fantastic.
Yeah, they just played here, but the tickets are just way expensive, man. Super expensive. Yeah.
I saw them once. I think it was Weezer and them. And what was cool, it was that Weezer was the headlining act, but they started playing So, and then Chino came on stage and sang the whole song with them. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
That's pretty
cool.
nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How about you, Edwin? What's in your record player?
I don't have a record player. I have Spotify because I'm modern.
I don't got a record player either.
You don't have a record player?
I'm not gonna crank the fucking sound box.
You guys are like lame.
I know, mostly podcasts, but I think the last record I actually listened to.
What's the last album you listened to, or a musician?
It's Jesus, mostly podcasts. I got problems. Let me see. Actually, Kneecap. I've been listening to a lot of Kneecap. Me and my kid love Kneecap. Then the last thing I heard actually was a really cool mix with 70s soul.
Okay.
70s soul. Like I like digging into the crates of like 70s soul, funk, ska, reggae.
Yeah.
Those are always my go-to. I mean, with the exception of when I go to the gym, I don't listen to anything that has a lot of distortion or anything heavy.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's enough heaviness in the world, and the last thing I need to hear is like some fucking, somebody just like screaming in my ear about how, either they got heartbroken or how shit is fucked up. It's like, yeah, guy, I get it, dude. I've been there. I get it. I heard this when I was 16.
I know. I always ask myself, I'm like, what is this? Like, I joke when I get in my car, I'm listening to hardcore, and somebody else is in the car with me. I'm like, why is this guy so angry? What's going on, buddy? Relax, Right now, actually, I probably have the softest thing that you wouldn't even imagine that being my record player, because I do have a record player. Thank you very much. Is Iron and Wine. I love that guy for some reason.
I want to
So
say I've
mellow.
heard it, but I don't. I've heard it, but I don't think I can pick out a song. You know who else is good too? You guys should check out. Have you heard High Viz?
No.
They're from England. It's really cool because it's like the energy of a hardcore band. These guys were all like hardcore dudes, but they play kind of like more like Britpop shoegazy kind of stuff, I would say, to put it in, if I have to, put them in a box. It's fantastic. Their first record is incredible. Incredible. They're kind of like part of there's been like a new wave of like punk and hardcore bands that have been coming out of England right now. The Chisel, Chubby and the Gang. This other band that's fantastic, Homefront. I don't know if you guys have heard Homefront, but it's basically like if you remember the new wave Blitz stuff.
Yeah.
It's basically that, but it's so fucking good. It's so good. You guys should check them out. But High Viz came from that, from that, I guess, wave or whatever. But they don't sound like anything else you've heard. They're really great live. They're fantastic. Awesome lyric. The kid that dude, the singer. I don't know if he's the one that writes it, but he gets it. And I couldn't recommend them more.
What's the scene like in Boston right now? Is it still like
I have
no clue?
I have no idea.
Is there even a scene in
I know.
Boston?
Are there scenes anymore? I don't know.
Boston has a healthy scene. I mean, the cool thing about Boston is that Boston constantly is getting every year. There's new young blood coming in.
Angry.
So they're angry, full of piss and vinegar. They come to the big city. There's stuff going around. I don't. I'm 49. I just turned 49.
You're younger than me. Got it.
Yeah. So
I was wrong.
Like there's stuff going on. There's shows going on and stuff like that. I particularly don't go out too much because, to
You don't
quote
want to break a hip.
that too.
That's right. You got to be careful with that.
To quote our generation's poet laureate, Project Pat, if you ain't from my hood, you could get from around here.
Okay.
Because it's like I have friends, I know people, but I don't. This isn't my community. These aren't my people like that. Like I have friends, and every once in a while I might venture out to a show or something like that. But I don't. It's not like if I go to a show and I see you guys. If I see you guys, is the boys. The lads are out and everybody's having a good time. We can bug out. I'm safe with my people here, with the exception of a couple of pals here and there. God bless their hearts. They're good, wonderful people, but it's a different beast. And, I'm here alone, with the exception of Chef and, and I barely get to see him and some other friends. So to me, it's like I have a kid, I have responsibilities and the risk is not worth the reward, I guess it would be the best way to say it.
Yeah, I think I fall into the same category. Like there is still a scene down here. Like I have a friend that he's helped me with some audio stuff and he's gonna be helping us with our next podcast. But he actually has a venue and there's a hardcore scene down here.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, there's a healthy hardcore. You guys have a healthy hardcore scene down there.
And it blows my mind. And what I think what you're saying, and I'm not trying to analyze you. I think I'm thinking as myself. We have this mentality that when we get to a show, there might be, static with somebody, but what we don't realize is that we are old men and those young kids just see an old man at a show like we used to see an old man at a show. And ain't no one going to start any static with an old man, What's funny is I have to wear, you guys, Jeronimo and Jolie probably have always done this, but I have to wear like earplugs to go into loud environments now.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah. Do you guys have that
are
too?
on stage. You guys are on stage, so you probably have to.
Yeah,
I have molded ones. I've had some molded.
I don't mind loud music, so it's fine. I mean, unless I'm like standing right next to the stage or something, then I'll put something in. But I
have this inner ear thing with my right ear now that it literally it triggers fight or flight. It's insane.
Oh wow!
And when I used to play in bands, I'd always plug my left ear, not my right ear, because I wanted to be able to hear what I was playing. And I think I damaged my right ear so bad that sometimes I'll actually get vertigo if the music's too loud. It's insane. Yeah. So that's part of the reason why I don't go to shows anymore. And man, I want to go to shows all the time. But the same thing. Like I want to go with my homies. You know what I mean? I want to go with like not that things are gonna pop off, but it just doesn't feel natural if I'm out there, soloing with a bunch of kids,
I
feeling
think
like a
that's what it
pedophile.
is. I think that is kind of more like why I kind of like lay low is just because we go see the band and everything's fine honky dory and they sound great blah blah blah, but it's a sense of camaraderie that is such an integral part of the ingredients that make hardcore or punk or whatever you want to call it so vital. If you don't have that sense of like friendship and stuff like that, yeah, you could venture out and have a good time, yeah, sure, that's not a problem, but that if you don't have that ingredient, it's kind of like you're just there,
Yeah.
and and again, I'm very paranoid, so I'm already like when I get there, I'm already like, why am I here? You know,
Yeah. Well,
what
is there
if
anything? Yeah, I want to talk about something. And I think I told Jolie and Jeronimo about this. The whole reason why I started the podcast up was because of you. Like I had a 2024. I did about 6 episodes and it died off. But it's you the reason why that this has been rebirthed. So I think it's pretty awesome to have you on this podcast.
thanks,
And
man. Yeah,
yeah,
anything. I appreciate it, man. Um, being out here alone and yeah, like I said, I have some pals and I have peoples and it's all hunky dory, but the lads are not here. And for example, if I knew if I were down there and I was in some some schism or I was having some mental shit or what have you, um, I can rely on my friends. I can call you. I'm sure I could
yeah,
call like even Geronimo, who I haven't seen in a dog's age. I'll be like, "Hey, Geronimo." He'll probably be like, "Yo, I got you, man." And
Yeah.
it's because we've made a bond, we've made a community,
yeah,
and being here, sometimes it gets really hard. It gets really lonely because I came here. It was just me and my wife, and yeah, like again, shout out to the great and powerful chef because he's,
yeah,
he, I can call him right now and he'll be right here for me. But he's a very busy man. He has his own business to handle, and sometimes it gets pretty lonely, man, and it gets dark because you know they, they always, that old saying, you can never leave home. Um, that's true. You never leave home because it's not so much the structures or what have you, is the things that you have there that are always there. The boys, your family, simple things like food and smells and stuff like that. That sometimes your heart aches for it, and sometimes it gets pretty lonely because you don't have anything that you could turn around and be like, hey, remember, when we went to Chico's, or yo, remember we went to this place or this and that. I don't have that here, and it gets dark. It gets lonely.
yeah. I hear you. You just said something that kind of irked me, and I'm gonna say this with complete love. Um, the day that you called to check on me about the breakup, uh, and I'm just gonna say the whole story. So Edwin called me, and I was in a Chipotle line, and he called to check on me because he heard through the grapevine that Katie and I broke up, and we were no longer together, like even living together. So I gave him the old, hey, let me give you a call back in 5 minutes. And, we all know what that Florida 5 minutes could be. It could be 5 weeks, 5 months, who
I'm still
knows?
waiting for that call, by the way.
Fuck you. I called you right afterwards.
Fair
So
enough.
I'm like on the phone with him, like, dude, please, I'm the guy online at Chipotle on his phone having a conversation. Let me just call you back in 5 minutes. And I heard in his voice, like, there was a little desperation on his side to have a friend as much as I had that desperation. But I heard when I said, "Let me call you back in 5 minutes." They're like, "All right, yeah, yeah, just call me back." It was kind of like him just saying, "Yeah, yeah, sure, you're gonna call me back," like Jose does. Um, and I called him back in 5 minutes, and it turned into about an hour and a half conversation. And we both shared our stories, and Edwin shared a very Edwin and I have known each other a very long time. We've kept in contact a majority of it, not like every day, but I mean, I don't think we've lost a year between us. We've always talked to each other,
Yeah.
and it was cathartic for both of us. because he needed someone to talk to as much as I needed someone to talk to, and we both needed somebody to listen. And that next morning, I woke up and it was Men's Mental Health Month. That's what I saw on Instagram. So I made a video literally about him. Didn't say his name or anything like that. And then the response I got from it was like so many men around our age or a little bit younger and a little bit older. They're like, "Man, thanks for posting this. Like, I'm going through it, blah blah blah." And then that sparked a daily video, and it was hard at times. Like,
Yeah.
I cried at some of them. Like it was very, very hard, man. Like I've suffered from depression my whole life. But there was something that you said that Biss is running all these businesses, so he's busy. And I want you to know, and I think every listener should know this, like true friends, there's nothing that is too busy for your true friend. If someone's truly, you have a true friend, they're going to call you back in that 5 minutes when they hear that desperation in your voice. They're going to be there. Like guys, like anyone that knows me, like if you have my phone number, call. And I mean this to anyone that's listening, and definitely you guys. You know what I mean? Like if you guys are ever in a jam or like just really down and out, and like having really bad negative thoughts, like I'm your friend, dude. There's nothing in the world that I'm too busy other than, knock on wood, being in a hospital. You know what I mean? And I'd probably still pick up the phone and to be there for you guys. You know what I mean? I'm very compassionate, and you guys are my family. You're my family outside of my family. You're my chosen family. But don't ever think that we're too busy. Jamie's not too busy. You know what I mean? Like, I guarantee you, if we called him on this line right now, he'd pick up even at this hour.
Oh no. I agree. What I mean by saying he's a busy guy and everything like that is that we don't. It's not like how it used to be like before when we didn't have all these
responsibilities,
and stuff like that. But I know in my heart of hearts right now, if I was in a bind or in a situation and I'd be like, "Hey, I need you to call me ASAP," he will drop whatever he's doing and call me back because that's because I know in my heart that that's my brother, just like I know that you would pick up. And I'm sure, again, to bring friend Jeronimo into the conversation, he would do the same thing too. And it's because we've developed a friendship and we've developed
we have a bond from childhood.
And Adam, you and I have been we've been in scuffles with people, and we've proven our bona fides to each other as far as like getting each other's back. But I will say that, yeah, man, going back to the mental health thing, I personally, and it's been very recent when I've been actually very open about it, that I've wrestled with mental issues all of my life. I mean, we can sit here and I can tell you all the stories of my upbringing and stuff like that will drop, your jaw to the floor. And I've stayed quiet about it because it's always something that I felt very ashamed about. And I think that it's been beat into men to shut up and do your fucking job. You don't complain. You just fucking sit there, take it in the chin, and say, "Please, sir, can I have another?"
Yeah,
That's we don't have it. We've been conditioned to believe that we are there just as mules, and we're ridiculed in the media. We're ridiculed in the press. We're considered misogynist. We're considered dummies. I mean, Homer Simpson. As much as I love The Simpsons, what's his name? Al Bundy. We've been conditioned to believe that we're just these dorky dupes that don't that need to stay quiet. And I think that that's for people of our age. We're beginning to realize that, hey, man, we have problems too. We hurt too. We cry. We feel. And sometimes because of our conditioning, we've been told to lamb up and suck it up, buttercup. And it's beginning to show its wear amongst people of our generation. I mean, the suicide rates amongst men our age, vets and whatnot, is through the roof. And it's because we've been conditioned to shut up. And I think that it's something that needs to change because men are vital. Fathers are vital. We are part of the society too. And if we need help, we should not be ashamed and cudgeled into shutting up about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's that whole like we have to be Superman. Like we got to be the the hero in every story, and that hero is never allowed to have a bad day. That hero is never allowed to like be Superman. He should be able to be shot in the chest and stand there and take it and fight on a group of men and save the woman and also be there and all this crazy stuff. But meanwhile, our fathers, it was probably even worse for them. I was thinking about that. You know what I mean? And it's funny, like we're all homies. We all know who I used to be, right? So all of our I don't know how to say this without sounding like a complete asshole. Right? Sorry, complete jerk. Softer friends. That's the way I'll put it. Our softer friends would say, why are you always, you're always getting into fights. You're always doing this. You're a maniac. You're uncontrollable. And I'm like, not really. I was usually fighting for my friends or for my friends or with my friends. But when shit would pop off, they would come to me and be like, Adam, I need your help. My friend's getting beat up around the corner. Oh, so every now and then you do need, Geronimo loved this one. I said this last, a knuckle dragger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Goons are vital, man.
Goons are vital. But what they don't understand is that goon became that goon because he was hurt so bad, maybe by his father, somebody else. Someone just kept beating on him, and it became really easy to act out. That was my problem. I was beat by my father really bad. I was beat by my mother, more so by my father. But then I was trained at that point. If you disagree with me, I'll beat it out of you. And when I'm the last man standing, we're going to know who the real man is. And now, and what was crazy is after we get in those big scuffles, and if I hurt someone really bad, my adrenaline dump, I would cry around the corner.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't handle the maniac, the monster I was. I literally cried the day that I found out that I got Ariel's mother pregnant. Because I'm a monster. How could I have had a child? I'm literally a monster. I will fight 5 or 6 guys to the point where I don't know if they're alive when I walk away. And now you're telling me I'm bringing a life into this world? That was so devastating to me, And we, Geronimo's and I's first podcast together, we talked about how I met him and, he's out there scrapping in the streets too. He's a little maniac.
Geronimo.
I don't know as much.
Not as much. None of us really are now.
Yeah.
But now it's like you. I don't know about you, Jeronimo, but I still think about those things, and I feel sad for that young Adam. Why was he conditioned to be like that?
We were young, and there was you don't at that age. I don't think you have the maturity to really take control of emotions. You know what I mean? We're letting the 2-year-old grab the wheel of the semi truck. You know what I mean? We're not, we haven't confronted, what you're confronting now, how you understand yourself now isn't how you thought about yourself back then. You know what I mean? So it's you can't, you were just young. You didn't know any better.
I understand that, but the role models that we had, or, whatever father figure that was in our life at that time also helped, kind of condition us to follow in their footsteps. At least that's how it was in my household.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It skipped a generation for my brother. If my brother ever listens to one of these podcasts and hears me talking about our father, there's 10 years, there's a decade between us. So he got a different father than I got. I got a 23-year-old man that was trying to figure out life after going through the trauma of his father and everything, and it's just that's the one thing that I see this whole woke generation, and it's almost too far soft, but there is a way to teach people how to control themselves. You know what I mean? I know that now, and I try to talk to young people about that. Go ahead, Jolie.
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, no,
I thought you did.
I heard something too. That was weird. Yeah.
No, I think that was probably me.
It's the CIA listening.
It's a ghost.
Yeah.
It's a ghost.
Get off the phone, Nancy Pelosi.
Stop blowing my cock, man. Come on.
Well, you gotta, young people, especially young men, boys, especially young boys, are boisterous. They there's always there's a fist fight in the playground. We're full of adrenaline. We're full of testosterone.
Yeah, testosterone. It's natural to battle.
Yeah, we're full of piss and vinegar. We were in an environment too that was very conducive to that kind of mentality. I mean, as much as I love, the music and the culture that we came out of, to the average bear, it looks like it's Bedlam. It looks like it's hell. For us, it was wonderful, going and dancing at shows, stage diving,
That was our safe space.
exactly.
Yeah.
That was our safe space, but that's where we went to release the anger and the frustration that we had from our either our home life, our mental health, or what have you. That's where we went and let it out there, whether good or bad. That's for everybody to figure out for themselves.
Well, yeah.
What I think is one thing that and I wish Adam you would take some solace in knowing that you're a Christian, and I know that the gospel talks about forgiveness.
Yeah.
And you can forgive everybody. You can forgive everybody that's ever done you wrong in the world, but until you're able to at least look in the mirror and forgive yourself for your past transgressions, for your past doings, and realize that you're not the man or the person that you were back then, you you're not going to be able to escape it. Now, you might not be able to, that doesn't mean you're going to get a clean slate mentally and that you're just going to escape these things, but you have to start. I think that you have to start to be able to forgive yourself for the mistakes that you made as a young person, or even the mistakes you made 10 minutes ago, because we're all flawed people. We're all tribal people. We're all done. There is no one, even people that are listening to this, people outside in the street, they've all done stupid, stupid, stupid shit that they could take back. But if you cannot forgive yourself for being human and for being vulnerable and for being dumb, you're gonna just continue to fight the tide, and the tide will take you.
Yeah, no, I have forgiven myself, and that was like the hardest thing in the beginning of going to church was like, like at my church we go through verses and stuff like that. They really teach the Bible at my church, and it was that whole cliche "only God can judge me" thing was like always weighed because there was always a tattoo shop joke, But it finally hit me. I'm like, if my Creator can forgive me for all that I've done, then He's the most powerful thing ever. How can't I forgive myself? I should be able to forgive myself, and I think it's weird. I don't know, Jeronimo. You're Christian, right? What are you?
Yeah, I believe in.
Have you ever been baptized?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So when I got baptized, so being baptized is just confessing publicly that you believe in God and Jesus, right? It was weird. I wish I could get baptized once a month. When you get baptized and you're finally it's just totally giving into this belief, and everything just feels better the next day. Even right afterwards, you just feel better about yourself. And that was that whole part of me forgiving myself. You know what I mean? Like, and I think I got even more emotional about me having the struggle to forgive myself. And then it moved on to trying to forgiving my parents. And I literally in my prayers this morning, I've said again that I forgive my mom and my dad, and I pray that they're in heaven and they're in a great place, a greater place than this, And that is a really hard thing to do. It's really hard because it's true. You'll still stumble up. You'll say something negative to somebody. And you're like, damn, man, like that's not who I want to be. That's not, but I have to forgive myself for those things, and that's been the best part about coming to my faith. You know what I mean? It's just having these revelations, like it's just the most powerful thing in the world for me, And I like some of the other previous podcasts that I did, I talked about God, and like my friends would hit me up like, hey bro, could you not like talk about religion and stuff? And I'm like, why not?
Don't listen.
Yeah, why not? You know what I mean? Listen, Edwin and I actually had a podcast previous to this, and it did not work out because the recording, one side was missing. So it was just me talking and listening, and it was like into the void. But it was a really, really good podcast. We touched on religion and stuff like that. And I mean, it's helped me so much, and it's just like I try to live such a better path, not only for myself but for others. And I was lost with a purpose. Like, really, is tattooing my purpose? You know what I mean? But it's not that. Like, I think guys like Edwin and I don't realize that our purpose is to help people because we help people all the time. You know what I mean? And then I think guys like Edwin and I also have this problem that we feel like we're there for everybody, but no one's there for us because we're there for so many people. Every client that walks in, we listen to their crap. You know, if my clients are listening to this, like, hey, listen, you know, some of their stuff is crap, but you listen to my crap too. So, but there's some people that really lay some heavy stuff on us, and that energy's that's really hard to shake off. But that's my purpose, to be there for people, to help people. You know.
Yeah. I'm an atheist, right? As far as like the the belief in God, we can have that discussion. But I personally don't have any problem with people finding, their God or their chosen religion, and it leads them into a righteous path of goodness and whatever. If they become Hare Krishnas, if they become Muslim, if they become whatever it is, as long as they're in a path of goodness and righteousness, I have no problem with it. And I think that anything like I've always been fascinated by religion. I like reading about it. I like learning about it, about different faiths. Like lately I've been really diving into like the Ethiopian Orthodox Church and into
they'll
learning
get
about
you.
yeah.
Watch out, they'll get you, bud.
Yeah. Well, and I love learning about it. And the one thing that is definitely consistent is that it helps people. It helps people, and it brings a lot of goodness out of people that are really, really dark and bad. And had they not found whatever religion it is, or whatever denomination it is, or whatever God it is, that person would either be dead in jail or have probably committed some horrible atrocities. And had it not been for them finding that, they would be in a very dark place. So I personally don't have a problem with anybody, finding God or finding their, religious purpose or anything like that. And I think that's one of the problems with modern atheism, is that modern atheism is based in a lot of self-righteousness on like, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. And you're like, dude, it doesn't matter. Like, fine, you don't believe in God, just be a good person. You can still, do I believe that Moses had the 10 commandments? No, but whatever the 10 commandments say, like something as simple as don't steal, don't kill people. I think that we could all agree these are good things, no matter who said it, whether it was Moses or whether it was Maury Povich, it doesn't matter. If these people come from, and just say like, hey, here's a good idea, don't kill anybody. That's a bad thing. And if people are like, cool, that's a good idea, I'm not going to do that because, Sky God told me to, hey, fantastic. Go for it. As long as you don't kill anybody, we're a good place.
Okay, well, you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. You're wrong. I'm right. Whatever. I understand. I used to be like that. I think we talked about that too. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's more proof in the pudding, and there's so much that I've learned over the past year. It's insane. Actually, next month is literally the first time I step foot in the church that I go to, and it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, I think the further away from you get from something stable in your life, the worse you're going to be. The closer you are, it's the better you're going to be. But my faith isn't just about looking for that something. You know what I mean? And I mean, I don't down anybody. I pray for everyone. I literally in my prayers every day, and sometimes before a meal, I say I pray for all those who touch my heart, and I've touched theirs, and I pray for peace for them and all that. And like, even if you are an atheist, I believe that atheists believe that there's nothing, right? But we can all agree that there's energy. Do you believe in energy? You believe in karma?
No.
You don't believe in karma?
No.
Well, if he doesn't believe in, I mean, karma's probably more weird than I think religion would be to an atheist. Karma,
it's with the karma, the karma thing, and I use it just kind of like in vocabulary. Like if somebody comes in and says, "Hey, I want to get a tattoo of something in my face," and it's like, "Oh, I don't need the karma." I kind of say it, just in passing, just as part of my.
Wait a minute. Let's rewind that. Someone comes in to get their face tattoo, you turn them down.
Yes.
Why?
Because I'm not here to tattoo people's faces. will say no, and I don't want because I just don't know what is leading that person to get that,
But
and
who are you to determine that?
I am the guy that's going to tattoo it, and I have every right to say no. You could do it, and if you find somebody else that can do it, God bless you, and have at it. I'm not going to be that guy. And that's
why wouldn't you tattoo their face?
well,
You've tattooed
personally,
faces before, I'm sure.
yeah, but I've tattooed faces on people that have come out of like state penitentiary doing like a 20-year bid, and they already are covered to their face and whatever.
Okay.
So there's levels. But if somebody comes in here like an 18-year-old kid because they want to look like the
Fuck
next
'em.
mumble rapper, no, I just don't think, because as a parent myself, I would like to think that somebody would be able to turn down my kid from a stupid idea like that.
Right, but they'll just
Because
go up the road and find some other shop that'll do it.
and then God bless them. God
Right,
bless
but
them.
there's got to be a reason why you won't tattoo their face.
I
Because you
won't
don't want to
tattoo
destroy
their-
their future?
That's part of it, yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to be complicit to that. I don't want to because we made, my God, I would have some of the dumbest tattoos on me had I gotten them when I was like, 13, 12. I would have had Yosemite Sam and Marvin the Martian on me. Wonderful thing.
So
Great.
now you're saying you don't have any dumb tattoos on you.
Oh, I have tons of dumb tattoos.
Oh, man, come on, guy. Come on, you're all over the place right now.
No. But those dumb tattoos were done when I was already in a place where I would be responsible for my own actions.
For your own dumb tattoos.
For my own dumb tattoos, my choice, and I got them, whether I was partying or whatever. So it took a memory, something, whatever it is. I myself knew what I was getting myself into. When I got my hands done, when I got my neck done, I realized I knew what I was getting myself into. I had enough life experience and foresight to do that. Somebody comes into the door and I see they have 0 tattoos.
Okay.
They might have they might have something here, and all of a sudden they want to get their girl's name tattooed over their eyebrow or under their eyebrow.
Absolutely. Let's sign them up.
No. And I'll say, you know what I'll say? I won't do it, but I'll send you to my buddy Adam, who will do it.
Yeah, send them right to me. I will gladly tattoo the crap out of their faces.
Yeah.
Just so that way it warns the next girl that's going to hook up with this dum-dum. Like, I mean, let's be honest, right? Like, if you're dumb enough to get your face tattooed, you really don't have a future anyway. Let's be honest. Just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Dude, tattoos these days they're not like tattoos when people were getting job stoppers, or they were calling them back then in the 90s. You get fully sleeve neck done, you're still getting a job. You're still, you know what I mean?
No one thanks
will
us
get the
for
job
that.
more, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
but what I mean is, like, there's still, like, for example, when I tattoo somebody, I always ask them, especially if it's like a first time tattoo, I always tell them, well, here, if you put it, somewhere like in your arm or somewhere where it's visible, if you're in a type of environment that requires you to be more conservative, whether a professional environment or something like that, you want to be able to cover that easily. So you got to make sure that tattoo works with you and in your lifestyle. Don't go getting something that you can't take back because you're making an impulse buy. I'm not in the business to cater to a lot of stupid crap. I'm not. That's not me. And if the and usually I tell them too, like, look, if you want to get this tattoo, maybe put it somewhere where you can easily cover up and live with it, because it's going to be your new best friend for the rest of your natural life, unless you have an accident with boric acid. And giving the people that perspective, for me, it feels better, because I don't want to be complicit to the degradation of our trade, and I don't want to be complicit to the reckless choice this person's making in a snap judgment. Oh, my girlfriend dumped me. I just want to get her name right across my throat. Like, dude, sit back, think about this for a minute, let it marinate.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think a majority of the tattoos that people are getting right now are just, they want to be the person that got a tattoo, this fine line stuff that's going on. It's just like, and like Geronimo said, it's like when we were getting tattooed, it was almost, it was part of our culture. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I just got tattooed by Louis Lambi. I just got tattooed by this guy. Oh, let me see what you got. You know what I mean? I remember hanging out as kids. Like, go ahead.
No, because back then, still, I mean, it wasn't you. You know, you couldn't get a job if you know what I mean, were below the elbow. I mean, it was still looked at down. You know what I mean? Like, I remember getting pulled over by cops and having all of us get out of the car, and we had to take our shirts off because they want to take pictures of our tattoos to make sure we weren't in gangs. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't. Everybody's got a sleeve now. Everyone's got their neck done. You know, back then it was like, you know, it wasn't the most accepted thing.
It was taboo.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I tell some of the demographic of people that come into my shop that are young men, when they do get like visible tattoos, like tattoos on their necks and stuff like that. I always express, do you ever pull up to a light and a cop pulls up next to you and then they stare at you? And they're usually like, yeah, I mean, doesn't that suck? And like, yeah. And I go, what do you think they think when they see a big old tattoo on your neck? They think, I'm pulling this guy over. And they're like, oh, yeah. And then that's how I talk them out of doing that stuff, you know? You know what I
mean? And again, you just went in a different path to basically do what I'm doing, which is basically telling them, like, you know, you might want to rethink this.
No, I'm tattooing their faces, but not their necks.
Like, oh, okay. I'm glad you have standards.
I mean, if you looked over at the cop and you got this tattoo on your face, he's gonna like, that kid's a dumbass, you know.
The cops probably all sleeved up too.
Yeah,
you know? I mean,
nowadays they are. Yeah.
Nowadays
they are.
I have a buddy of mine who's a Brighton cop, which is the town next over to us, and I did his first tattoo, and when he was a skin. You know, I did a Coxbar tattoo on him, and now he's a lieutenant over here in Brighton. You know, he still gets tattooed by me. Great guy. I mean, he joined the riot squad, but you know who's keeping tabs.
What's a riot squad?
Coxbar, dude, come on.
Oh,
he's in the riot squad.
I got that, but you said he became a cop and then a riot squad.
No,
I'm thinking like SWAT team.
No. That's what I meant. Like he's in the riot squad, and I don't fault him for becoming a cop or anything like that. I think that's ridiculous to fault somebody for becoming a cop. That's take that however you want.
I mean, who doesn't want that kind of power though?
Yeah, he definitely doesn't. He's definitely like he's a good dude.
He's a good guy. We need some good guys in there.
Yeah, but what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought.
I got you.
But I think tattooing right now is at a very weird place. I think that tattooing has been completely, almost to its detriment, watered down a lot. Self-inflicted wounds by people in this trade. Where right now, I just in a post outside, in a light post outside, there's somebody doing safe and affordable tattoos out of their apartment. You know, everybody has an Amazon account, can open up a tattoo shop, and I think that it's definitely made our trade
a joke.
I don't want to say a joke because I don't compare what we do to what they do. They might actually just in praxis, they actually do what we do. But as far as like what we are and what they are two different animals. But their actions and the actions of corporate tattooing have completely gutted this industry. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw Nike stepping into the tattoo game.
Yeah. You know, the thing I have with Keep the Fees, I know a lot of inside stuff right now that's going on, and it's imploding right now.
It's imploding. I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer because
listen, I'm not saying our industry is imploding. Like, it's the fact that these bigger companies are getting involved, like Nexus and all these other companies. They thought they saw gold mine. They saw gold rush. They were fooled by COVID, just like everybody else. They saw like, oh, this is the fastest growing industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now they put millions of dollars into it, and they're killing these companies. FK Irons is done. Like all these companies, all these companies are done right now. That's what I'm hearing from the inside, from these guys, these big money guys, and it's just like they're panicking right now because they like bet that this was going to be forever growth.
And it's ridiculous to think that. I mean, I'm no economist, but I know certain things. But when when there's so much supply and there's not enough demand, it's going to, it's going to water down the product because now everybody's going to start like trying to undercut each other.
And it also
And
thins out the herd. I don't know if you've seen this,
Well,
but down here
I
in
mean,
South Florida,
yeah.
people are leaving tattooing that have been tattooing for 10 years.
I don't blame them though.
I mean, but you have to like also nowadays tattooing doesn't mean what it used to mean. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Getting a tattoo doesn't have the same meaning that it used to mean for me, for instance. You know what I mean? Like when I got a tattoo, it was I mean, it sounds silly, but it was almost like a rite of passage in a way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like you're getting
Absolutely.
tattooed. Like this means, like I'm getting this. I'm gonna remember this. I'm gonna remember the people I'm with for the rest of my life that were here that night that I got this horrible, painful freaking tattoo on me. You know, and now it's just again, it's just a subversion of the counterculture. Again, it's the same thing. It doesn't have the same meaning anymore.
That's a
You
really
know?
good point too.
It's
That's a
not the
really good
same.
point.
So it's diluted totally. Of course, I totally agree
Oh
with you
yeah.
there because the meaning isn't there anymore. Now it's just a t-shirt you put on. It's just something
Yeah.
that you just get, you
Right.
know?
Yeah. Drive-through
100%.
tattoo. Yeah. Drive-through
Yeah.
tattoo. I that's one thing, Edwin. Maybe. Well, you live in a college town, so it might be different for you. But I remember prior to 2020, people coming in as groups of kids that all come and watch their buddy get tattooed, and then they're next, and like 3 or 4 guys just hanging out. And now it's like they might do that every now and then, but they don't come and hang out. They don't like they're not coming as a group to get tattooed. Like down here, at least that I've noticed, it's like I'm gonna get this little poopsie with my girlfriend, or I'm just gonna come in by myself and get this tattoo. Like it's almost like this generation of kids that are getting tattooed right now, we're so coddled and so used to being behind a keyboard, meeting friends or on a phone that they don't have that kind of community like we had as kids, you know what I mean? Going to the scene like, hey, like I'm gonna go to the tattoo shop. You wanna come with? You know, like I think that culture is gone now too.
But I think that, yeah, to your point, that it's happening with everything from the record stores to the clothing shops to anything that's got anything to do with youth culture. It has been completely whittled down. That wanderlust of going into that strange place with all the weird T-shirts and records, you no longer have that sense of you don't have that wanderlust anymore. Now you can just go online and order whatever record from the safety of your toilet. You know, we it's been completely that curiosity has been completely killed. And I also think too right now that tattooing as a form of rebellion is no longer there. I don't think it's there anymore. I think that the overexposure of tattooing and the sanitation of tattooing has made it so as is no longer that act of rebellion is no longer there anymore. Kids, I've noticed more people are wanting to get pierced lately than get
Right.
tattooed,
Right.
and I think
So here,
it.
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, please. No, no,
I have a theory behind that. Finish your thought.
Well, okay, so like here, this is a college town, and we've been feeling it economically because, what we were talking about earlier, like the COVID money's run out. Right now, there's a lot of uncertainty in the markets. Right now, people are holding on to their money tighter because there's a lot of uncertainty, with the snap shit, with the wars, with all this stuff. People are being more conservative about their spending habits. And a lot of these kids, our bread and butter usually was these young greenhorns would come in, they would get, a couple of bucks from grandma, or they would get a spending credit card from their dad. And then they feel gully, and then they would come into a tattoo shop and get the tattoo shop. That expendable money is pretty much no longer there because there are other responsibilities. So it all trickles down. So you have that aspect, and then you also have the aspect that this trade has been almost overly sanitized to the point that the act of rebellion and tattooing is no longer there. Because, I mean, for God's sakes, you know uh the Kardashians have tattoos, David Beckham, he's got tattoos, and that exposure is just made it part of the lexicon of society. So it's the equivalent of trying to own a 57 Chevy now. There's no act of rebellion like it was in the 50s to have a 57 Chevy.
Right. So the act of rebellion is what you started talking about, and I think the rebellious part of it, because I see it. I'm also sober. I see more of it, and we're you can actually look up these statistics, but kids are not drinking like we did. They're not getting tattooed like we did. They're not doing a lot of things that we did. Now, if you then rewind it to our generation, we were doing the rebellious thing was to be exactly what our parents didn't want us to be, covered in tattoos, going to punk rock shows and stuff.
Right.
And my theory is that the new generation of kids don't want to be like us because we are the parents. And they're deciding that I don't want to drink. I don't want to go out to be violent. I don't want to be like my parents. Christianity is rising like crazy right now. And that is their rebellious now. Now, their generation of children, which we'll see in the next 5 to 10 years, are then going to repeat the rebellion and go back to whatever it is at that time, because we're going to have robots raising these children, but maybe they're going to be like, I want to be around humans. I don't want to be around robots. Like, I'm going to go live in the woods if there's any woods left, but I see that rebellion because that's what the 60s were, the rebellions against the 50s, so I feel like that's part of what we're going through as a society of, especially in tattooing. And I mean, it's crazy. I've seen more now, which is blowing my mind, is the tramp stamps are coming back.
Yeah, they're coming back.
Right? So when we were tattooing, and I'm sure, Jeronimo, I don't know if you ever got anything for one of your grandparents or something like that, but Jeronimo just dropped out.
Bye, Jeronimo. Bye.
The one thing that I noticed was we would do a lot of tattoos for grandparents, and now it's like, I want to get tattooed for my grandma, and they're getting these tramp stamps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just blows my mind, and I welcome back all the tribal. So that's like, that's like what is it? The butter to my bread.
Yeah, but to your point, I heard a saying, and I don't know how true it is. Conservatism's a new punk rock. And I don't know how much truth there is to that. And yeah, you could kind of say that it kind of is, because it's a rebellion against, the set orthodoxy of extreme, like, liberal views.
Yeah.
But I think that just overall with our trade, and again, I don't fault anybody for, like, making choices to better themselves and their family, where they have to probably step back from tattooing, to put bread on the table, to put food in
I agree.
belly. And if you have it so you don't have to do that, then God bless you. You have you got it good. But a lot to what you were saying, that, what is it, 10 people that you knew stopped tattooing or whatever it was?
The people I know that have been tattooing for 10 years or longer have been dropping out of tattooing.
Yeah. And how could you not? The trade has gotten so diluted, and it's been so sanitized that it's basically like, it's almost kind of like become almost like a t-shirt at this point. And it sucks, because to us, this is our passion and this is our love and this is what we want to do. But there's I don't know what's going to happen to tattooing. I'm not trying to predict the future. Stranger things have happened, but we are at a crossroads in this trade where things are going to start moving, and they might start moving in a negative fashion for us, because it's been so oversaturated and so sanitized, so perverted, to the point where some people are voluntarily leaving because they're like, I don't want to be part of this. This has become a clown show.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, I could see it. Like, look, any person that does something for 20 plus years eventually is just going to be like, all right, I think I've ran my course with this, It's not like those old guys like Philadelphia Eddie and all them, where, let's be honest, those guys tattooed for a long time, but there was a long time that they were just the guy that owned a tattoo shop that used to tattoo, you know? And that's not a thing now because it's so easy to open up a tattoo shop where back in their day it was so taboo and so illegal that like so we don't have that luxury. But I do believe that the rebellion against the parents that like think about it. You can take any class of person that is tattooed, like heavily tattooed. There's all we meet them. They're all walks of life. Some of them are professionals, and some of them are dirt bags. And some of the I didn't want to be like my parents. That's why I was straight edge. Edwin, you were straight edge, right?
I was straight edge for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Jeronimo?
Nope.
No.
Consistent. A man's consistent.
I was consistent. Nah.
Good for you. Good for you.
Never was.
I will say though, fine. I like to have a drink. I like to smoke weed. I dabble in I dabble in the dark arts. But those straight edge years were very valuable, and God, thank God that I was part of that.
Thank who? I got you again, dude. I always get him with this.
It's a figure of speech.
Yeah, okay, whatever, dude. It's okay. You're a closet Christian. Whatever, dude.
Well, what I mean is that thank goodness for that, because even now where I believe straight edge is a youth movement, and it's definitely helped out a lot of kids, stay sober, be and live a good life and know their limits. Straight edge helped me when I started, drinking again, and drinking and doing all that stuff. It kind of put barriers.
Yeah.
It kind of let me know, we've all been blackout drunk. I'm not, I'm guilty of that. We've all done stupid shit on the fucking piss. And, but even then, when you look back, you're like, shit, I fucked up. There are people out there who'll do it the next day, but luckily because of whatever, whatever Matt Bold was saying or Ray Capo or the Earth Crisis guy was saying, it resonated with you. And it's actually, even to this day, it still kind of keeps me in check in one form or another. Like, I know my limits. I know what to do and what not to do. I know to listen to my body when I know I've had enough. And it's because, like, Choke said, I've had enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, thank God for that. And I have a lot of respect and admiration for like the whole straight edge thing. I don't know anything about it now, but my daughter came up tomorrow. I mean, when she was 15 and she comes back and she's got X's on her hands, I'm gonna be like, oh, thank fucking God.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh.
And as long as she doesn't become a punk, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't know where my daughter sits right now, but when she turned 21, she came to visit from Texas, and I was like, I don't know how to say this. I was like, do you want to get a drink together? Because we were having brunch. And she was like, to be honest with you, Dad. And I'm like, okay, here it comes. She's like, I had alcohol and I just don't like it. And I was like, that's amazing. And I'm like, I was just so like happy to hear that. I'm like, now she's 26. I don't know. We haven't had that conversation, but yeah, I think that was, we're not like Jeronimo, just drunk his entire life. Boozing.
Are you drunk right now, Jeronimo?
He's hammered. Nope. Look at him.
Nope, I haven't.
He even signed himself out.
Last time I had a beer, I think it was like 2, and that was a few weeks ago. So
I'm not judging you. Not judging you.
Months ago.
Okay.
Huh? Oh yeah, weeks ago.
Yeah, a few weeks ago while we were in Florida.
Yeah, so I think I think those things are vital and they're good, and you definitely I've learned I learned a lot of valuable life lessons. I'm no I'm no man of righteousness or anything like that, but I can definitely say that good morals come out of straight edge.
Oh,
good
sure.
morals come out of straight edge, and good people come out of the straight edge movement. I mean, I still, I have X's on my leg, and I'm not going to cover them up. I will never cover them up. Why? Because it was such an integral part of my upbringing, and for better or for worse, has made me who I am, and it's helped me in part, especially growing up. When we were growing up, it definitely was a rebellion against all the shit that my family environment, and it kept me in line. I mean, back then, I mean, the straight edge kids in Miami, we were a minority. I mean, we were sitting outside with friends as they were getting blasted, drinking, quarts in the parking lot, and we were hanging out with them, having a good time too. But we weren't touching none of that shit. And
yeah, I remember, I grew up just outside of Coral Springs in a beautiful, beautiful part of Florida called Margate. No one will ever be able to find it on a map, but I grew up with a group. I grew up around a group of guys, and when I told them like that I was straight edge, they looked at me as if I was like weird, or like if I was like in a cult or something. And literally, I think it was probably 6 months of hanging out with these guys, and I mean these are Charlie Brown, Joe Colonna, all these skinhead kids from Margate, Coral Springs area. I didn't know any other straight edge kids.
Oh yeah, we're minority.
Yeah, and like same thing. Like I'm the designated driver everywhere I freaking go, and I don't mind because I want my friends to get home safe. But I never judged them on it. You know what I mean? Like there was a time that I went hardline, and that was a really good time of being an asshole.
No.
Yeah, it was so good. It was so. We lived in a trailer park.
Boo this man! Boo this man!
We lived in a trailer park. Me and Dennis and Chris, and we're all straight edge. And these guys would try to like get like they'd be drunk trying to bum money off of these 17 and 16-year-old kids so they could drink. So we would go back to the trailer, throw on our ski masks, come out and take care of business. And then we come back and just walk past them later on that day like, man, what happened to you guys? But we were just so angry. Like we lived in such a crap environment, and we were living on our own at that point. But
yeah.
But no, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I was just angry at the world at that point, to be honest with you. It was just a reason to do whatever. But
low-hanging fruit. That's what I'm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Low-hanging fruit.
Beating up your local fucking hobo for the.
They weren't hobos, dude. They lived in a trailer. I lived in a trailer. I wasn't a hobo.
Jesus forgives you.
You're just a sober hobo, man.
Yes, Jesus forgive me. Seriously.
But I never went down that road because
You're a saint.
I just thought, I just never I was the straightest guy. I was straightest kid with X's on my hand, and I was at a Murphy's Law show singing, beer,
True.
or back with the bong and stuff like that. Because to me, it was just a personal choice, and I never cared for the preachiness. I never cared for the self-righteousness. It was never because I was a minority, and then I had no room to do that.
I got it. I mean, it's like
you had all the straight edge
dawn.
Yeah, you had all the straight edge kids. You just hang out at the poorhouse. On the
Exactly.
corner.
Yeah,
that's the way it was back then.
Were you friends with the kid that used to pretend like he was drunk as crap to go home with girls?
I don't know.
I think he was from your group of friends.
No, I don't know about from my group of friends, but maybe he was in,
he wasn't my friend.
The orbit, maybe around. But...
Okay.
Wait. Let me get this straight.
What was the thing?
He would
He
would pretend to be drunk to take women home.
What was his name?
Bro, he would sit on the wall. I'll give you hopefully listen, kids, don't do this. This is creepy. If you're a child or in your 20s, this is not the way to get a girl. He would sit on the wall by the poorhouse and pretend like he was sleeping. Right? And girls would come up and be like, "You okay?" And he would just pretend like he was hammered. And I learned this about him because I walked up to him once and he was like, "Shut up, dude! Shut up! Get away from me!" I'm like, "What are you doing, dude?" He's like, "Get away from me, man! I'm doing something right now." So what he would do is he would talk to this girl, pretend like she was really drunk, and then he'd look around, and be like, "I don't know where my friends are at. I don't know. They drove me." And then he would get in their car and make them drive around, pretending like he didn't know where he lived, until he sobered up, and then was like, "Hey, let's, it's really early in the morning. I feel it's so bad. Let me take you out to breakfast." And then he would, as the kids
That's a
used to
lot
say,
of work to put in again.
That's a lot of
Dude, he was straight edge, bro.
That's
you know how straight edge kids are. They're weirdos.
It wasn't the people I hung out with.
That was not. I don't know straight
This
edge
was
kids.
Geronimo's best friend. I'm just telling you.
What dumb girls fell for that shit?
Well, yeah.
Hello. They were going into the chili pepper next door. Hello.
That's a way too much effort.
That's a long
That is a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. How did this work? That's
right. You got married really young too.
That was a way.
Me?
Yeah. You were with that girl way before you got married.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I guess for me was that I pretty much hadn't been single for very long since I was like 16.
See?
I've had, I've had 3 serious girlfriends in my entire life, and the last one I married and have a child with. So I never really dabbled in like in like trying to pick up girls at bars or anything like that, because I just I don't know. I just never did. And then when I tried, I would fail miserably because I was out completely out of practice. Number one, I'm as ugly as a mule. Number two, it was like whatever rap I had was very flat. It wasn't, none of this was working because I had zero practice. So
Gotcha.
I guess I never had to. I guess I never had to go to those extreme measures to get conquest, I guess.
Yes, yes. Well, that's what this kid did. I'm not saying that it's the hat trick of all hat tricks. I'm just saying he was Geronimo's friend and he hung out at the poorhouse. Right now, one of your friends, Jeronimo, that would listen to this podcast is like, is he talking about me right now?
That kid right now is blushing, hoping his wife is not listening.
Yeah, right. You know what Geronimo brought up our last podcast was it Man Ray? Was that what it was called? Man Ray?
Oh yeah, Man Ray. I love that place.
Yeah.
Oh, that swing shit was awesome. I love it. I still do. I mean, it was cool clothes. Everybody looked dapper. The gals looked stunning. The dudes were all done up. It was great music. It was a great, it was awesome.
It was a good time.
It was a fucking fantastic time. I loved it.
Do you know Edwin came over and critiqued me while I was dancing once?
I'm the token Latin guy. I have to.
Yeah, you came over. You know what you said to me?
What?
You're white. What? You mother.
You're white. Stop.
You mother. No, you said less is more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, fuck you, Edwin. That's what I told you.
Try to help a guy.
I was like, just because you don't know any other moves doesn't mean I'm doing too much, buddy. But yeah, I remember that. I distinctly remember that, and I was like, so like, fuck you, dude. I'm out here having fun.
It stuck with him to this day.
Dude, I've waited all these years just to call him out on it. Just kidding. No, it was funny that Jeronimo brought that up at the last podcast because I had totally forgotten about it. But it was such good, wholesome times outside of a hardcore show.
Yeah, that whole rockabilly revival that was around for a while. To quote our good friend Chef, he skinhead retirement plan.
Yeah.
It's like when boots and braces wouldn't get you ladies, you become rockabilly.
Yeah. That was
and it, I guess for better or for worse, it worked for some folks. And and to your point, it was a great escape from like the monotony of like the repetition and being staying the same hamster wheel of hardcore and good or for bad. And it was I think it was great fun, and I think that was my through rockabilly and hardcore is where I found tattooing. So had it not been for tattooing, I would have never found out who Sailor Jerry was or who or Ed Hardy or these people were, because they were doing the tattoos that I wanted to get at the time, which were super traditional tattoos.
Yeah,
and so it was a great experience, and I wish I could go back because it was so much fun.
Yeah,
and it was all the same kids that were in the scene too. Like everybody that was in hardcore punk rock were at that's who was at Man Ray.
Yeah, but instead of fighting people,
dressed a little differently, hair slicked back and all that. So,
and we're still expending energy, and we were having cocktails, and instead of fighting each other, we were dancing with girls for once instead of dancing with a bunch of dudes.
There were occasional fights.
Yeah,
at the swing.
Yeah.
When?
Of course.
Every now and then there was people got a little too on the liquor.
Again, it's kind of part of the culture. I mean,
I'm starting to think you guys are the jerks. I think you guys were the jerks because I don't remember fighting it.
If you think about it, you're looking good, you're looking sharp, you have a couple of drinks on you, you go talk to the wrong bird, and next thing you know, her man gets mad and words are exchanged, and next thing you know, you're throwing dukes outside. It never happened to me, so I'm not, but I've seen it happen to other people. So I'm,
Oh, I got it. I see what you're saying. Yeah, like guys would get jealous and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They just knew when I walked in there not to mess with me. That's all.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Seriously, because I remember those kids, and I would go dance with their girls all the time. And like, what were they going to do? I already had that reputation in Broward, you know. So, so while you there, you go. You're almost there. That was weird looking. There was this one guy that Jeronimo used to hang out with at Man Ray, and what he would do is he would pretend like he was drunk.
Again, it's fucking with his mystery fella.
No, just kidding. No, that was the best. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys. All right, that was the best time of my life. Was at
it was great.
Yeah, because that was when Amber and I were broken up. We were separated. We were done, and I would be able to walk up to any girl and dance with them. And I had this thing, like I had a dance partner. We'd take lessons and everything. We were like, if she did some weird stuff one time because I was dancing with another girl, and like our deal was if we were both at the club together, that's only the person we danced with. We didn't dance with other people, you know, because we were like always working on our routines and stuff. And I would dance with a girl, and my line was when the girl, I'm like, "Hey, do you want to dance?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't really know how to dance, you know." And I'm like, "Well, that's okay. I'll make you look good." And I go out, right? And I go out. Honest to God, these were my words. I would go out, I'd dance with them, I'd spin them a couple times because Jolie, earmuffs. Every girl wants to feel like a fancy girl being spun around, you know, every girl wants to be spun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right? And then I would return them back to their friends and just thank them for the dance and walk away.
What a gentleman.
Right.
What an absolute legend.
So then what I started doing is I started going earlier than my partner would get there, and I would dance with a multitude of girls. Because they would come there with guys that didn't know how to dance or guys that like wouldn't approach them. So I would dance with 5 or 6 different girls in one night. And then my partner wasn't my partner, you know.
Yeah.
You know? So so they
understand the nuance.
Yeah. You should have seen the other podcast I did. I did a really, I mean, Geronimo laughed. That's what I'm here for. Watching Geronimo laugh. Was you know, like if I did become friendly with a girl, there was no like jealousy there, you know. So it was those were the greatest time of my life.
Yeah, it was a good time, and I mean, and it was good to see that, you know, we were not full of piss and vinegar. It was good to see, like, you know, everybody getting dressed up, everybody getting dolled up, and you know, enjoying things, enjoying just like the simple act as dancing and having a good time. And it didn't involve aggro. It didn't involve
good wholesome
politics.
fun.
Yeah, it's exactly good wholesome fun for the entire family.
There was an innocence to it. You know what I mean?
There was
guys just going to a club, dancing, and meeting girls. You know what I mean? Or
that's the way.
You know, like
it was totally different than going to a show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and shows are kind of like that too.
Oh, whoa! I'm trying to save you over here, dude. Your wife is sitting right next to you.
She knows, man.
That's how we met.
That's how we met.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Yeah.
You guys met?
Well, in the band.
Well, we met. Well,
in the band. Oh.
Yeah, but
well, I know that part.
Yeah.
So you weren't his groupie, is what you're saying, Jolie?
No.
He was your groupie.
No.
I really wish you had a shirt that says "I heart Jeronimo." And you stand in the front row, just pumping your fist like, "Yeah, I love you. You are my bae, Jeronimo.
My bae.
You are number one in my book."
Jolie,
will you play bass for me?
I what?
Jolie did sing me to sleep though.
Did she?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a callback to the last episode.
That's a callback from the last
one.
Yeah.
You lucky dog.
I had the same experience, but it was at goth clubs. You know, that's where I actually met.
I couldn't do it.
No, I got dude. That goth clubs were the place.
I thought you said golf clubs.
No, not golf clubs. Goth clubs. No, goth clubs. That's kind of like, yeah, I was more like that, more like outgoing in that regard. I mean, that's how I met my wife. It was it was going to we met at a goth club, and I was a little bit on the liquor, and you know, we had a mutual friend, and I mean, thank God for liquor, I suppose. I was drunk, and I go, "Hey, yo, who's your friend over there?" And she's like, "Oh, it's so and so." And I was like, "Hey, introduce me." She was apprehensive. She's like, "No, you fucking derelict. You know, come on, dude, hook a friend up." And so she's like, "Fine, let's go." So she introduces me, and the first thing I said to this poor woman was like, "Hey, I'm Edwin. I'm gonna marry you. You know that, right?"
No
And
way.
she's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "What?" And that was the first words I said to that woman. Bless her heart. That I said, "I'm gonna marry you. You know that, right?" And she's like, "No, get away from me, you creep." And then now there's a kid.
Yeah, proved her wrong. Hello.
Yeah, exactly. Double down
That's
on
fun.
Brown. That's what I say.
The one time I went to a goth club was down in Miami. Remember they used to have the ska show at the back, and like you like go through what was that, Kitchen Club or something like
Oh
that,
yeah,
Heavy
kitchen,
chicken.
and they would have like a ska a night in the back.
Yeah.
I
That in
I
the
walked
Grove?
in
In the
there
Co-
and
was
what's that?
Was that in Coconut Grove? Was that in the Grove?
Was that in the Grove? I don't know. I didn't drive.
there was a couple out there. There
Couple
was
kitchens, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah, there
church
was a
was in
couple.
South Beach. The kitchen was for a long time was in Coconut Grove, and then it
Yeah.
started bouncing around to places. There was a
Mm.
Hungry Sailor in the Grove too, but that was kind of more like Britpop night, and they did more of the Britpop stuff. And then there was a couple of other places here and there that had like goth night, whatever.
Yeah. I walked
We used
into
to go
that.
out there. I mean, we used to go out there. I mean, because I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know how it was for you guys, but there was a dry season, couple of years where there was no hardcore punk at all. It was dead.
Really?
It was it was dead. And then so especially in Miami. So then in Miami, what we would do is we would supplement our teen angst and go to the goth nights, because it's like, hey, we might run into some pals, we might run into people we know from school, whatever. And that's where we would wind up. And, sure as shit, it worked out, because you would end up meeting, especially in Miami, we would meet with a lot of friends there, high school friends and acquaintances and such. And, that's where, like I said, that's where like I met my wife. And, it wasn't, it wasn't, I mean, I do enjoy the music, and I like the, the aesthetic of it. But at that time, I wasn't going there to go to do any of that. I was just going out there just to get loaded and, hopefully talk to some pals, but, it served its purpose, I suppose.
Yeah, I went to one, I think it was Kitchen, and you had to get through the goth part to get to the back. And I ran into Stan's girlfriend, Stan Noble.
Yeah, Melissa,
yeah, that was her name.
Yeah.
And
Rest in peace.
She came up to me and was like, "Hey, what's up, Adam?" And I'm like, "How do I know this person?" And it was her, and I'm, I was used to her, being a skinhead chick, and she's like tried dancing with me and stuff. And I'm like, "Nah, I'm good. You know what I mean?" And then later on, Stan like confronted me as if I had like gotten up on her, and I was just like, "Dude, I didn't even want to be in that room. Like, no disrespect." That shit scared the hell out of me. I every time someone would say, "Yeah, we're gonna go to goth night over this," I'm like, "I'm good. I'm good. I'm good."
Dude, it's funny. This was years ago. I was working at Best Buy, and I had already clocked in, and actually no, this is a different story. I had made a date with a friend of mine, a girl, to go to homecoming dance of her high school, right? And we had made this plan, so I agreed to it, and she about to dress, the whole nine. And lo and behold, I found out that The Cure was playing at the Miami Arena that same night. Dog. And I'm going and I, I'm gonna suffer greatly if there is an afterlife or whatever. I am going to suffer greatly. Um the I ditched her to go see The Cure. I stood her up. I didn't call her. I didn't do it. Dude, I
Wow.
just bounced on her, and I didn't have a ticket. And guess who I run into in the front of the Miami Arena? And I didn't even recognize her because she was full on Gothosaurus Rex.
Melissa?
Was Melissa. Yeah, I didn't even, she goes, "Hey, Edwin, what's up?" And I'm looking at her, I'm like, the hell is it? Do I know you? And she had like a veil. I mean, she had the whole garb. She looked like the corpse bride. And she's like, "It's Melissa." I'm like, "Melissa, who?" And then I look finally, like, "Oh shit, Melissa, what's up?" And she's like, "Oh, are you going to the show?" And I was like, yeah, I'm trying to get a ticket, whatever." She's like, "Oh, I got an extra ticket.
So you went on a date with her? I'm telling Stan. That's it.
He'll unleash the evil inside. The quote timescape 0. And dude, I still to this day I feel extremely guilty for doing that. I shouldn't have done that, but that's my goth Cure story.
Well, that's the whole reason. Edwin, you gotta stop moving the phone around because it's like it's glitching you. Well, that's the whole reason why we wanted you to come onto this podcast. She's been waiting to talk to you this whole time.
Yeah,
and we have her. Jolie's gonna like
20 years.
catch.
Yeah,
she hasn't recovered.
She hasn't recovered, and she just wants to confront you and maybe hear this extremely apologetic man that's worried about going to hell because of standing her up. Let's have her on now. Jolie, can you like have her come on now?
We had to buy we had to buy her Flocka to be on the show because that's
it's you might not recognize her. She's looking a little rough.
She picks her scabs a lot.
Yeah, and that's what you did. How do you feel about that, my friend?
Flocka.
Flocka. This man said Flocka.
Man. Well, hey guys, we've been on this for about 2.5 hours now.
It was the first thing that
only 2.5 hours. I'm gonna spend about 9 months editing this one if everything comes through.
Yeah.
Edwin, the night when you see this, you're gonna be way paler.
Yeah, I definitely had a great time with you. We need to close this up. So, Jeronimo, do you have any last words?
No, Edwin, it's been great seeing you, man. We definitely
my brother, as always, man.
Edwin, I want to thank you again, and hopefully this one comes out great. This has been Edwin. If you guys have a chance and you're listening to this podcast, please check out Edwin. We're going to put his handle in for Instagram. Is that fine? Yeah?
Yeah, Instagram.
In our description. Yeah, I'll find it, and we'll put it up in there. I mean, I can't. Thank you enough, not only for this podcast, but all the years of friendship.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Adam. You've always been a brother to me. And, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to listen to my madness. Someone has to. If you're in Boston, come to Good Faith Tattoo. I promise I won't talk as much shit as I did today.
Unless you ask them.
Unless you ask, and then you
for a face tattoo.
Keep your face tattoos with Adam, and follow if you guys want to follow me there. If you want to tell me I'm that I'm a bad person, DM me or whatever. I welcome it all, and thanks again, dude. Appreciate it. Love you,
Awesome.
boys.
Yeah, man.
Love you too, brother. Thanks again, and that's it, guys. It's a wrap. It's another one, and we're done.